Right. So that one just fell out. Anyway, I'm gonna stitch it together, y'all, right this out. Well, I'm gonna just put it up like that. I don't matter. Anyway, so basically, let me read it again. So it says here, Mark 3:25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. So that's what's happening with Esau right now. His house can't stand. You know, that's why they said America's more divided than it ever was before. But nowadays, you know what I'm saying? You have like, how you call them? America versus Europe, and all the Europeans are banding together after that thing that happened to Zelensky over there, that disgraceful thing that happened to him over there. You know, so now they're backing him up to a certain degree, and then Canada says that they want to actually put nuclear missiles aimed at America. So these all shall hate the whore in the book of Revelation 17. So Mark 3 and 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but at an end. That's exactly what's happening right now. You know, you got Esau in Europe versus Esau in America. And it's all being spearheaded by Amalek to a certain degree. You know, if you watch this documentary called You Are Amalek, you're gonna see it. I'm gonna put those links in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. I'm pushing it to everybody because I want Jake to know. Right, I wrote it down. Wait, let me write it down somewhere else so I don't forget. Now it is mentioned. Let me see. I'll put this in the comment box so you can check it out for yourself. You know, the description box, or the you know, the comment section and stuff like that. I'll put it there. Anyway, so let me get back to it. Right, Mark. Already right there. Mark 3:27. It shows you that Satan is divided against himself, and his house shall not stand. Well, that's exactly what's happening right now, right? Obadiah explains to you that all that were confederate with thee have laid a wound under thee. You know, Isaiah 14 and 5. The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. That continual stroke, is what Esau has been doing for centuries, man. Continual stroke, and he's not letting up. He keeps on continually doing stuff like the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, for example. He's been doing that to Jake, and he's doing that now to Esau, man. With the rest of the so-called things that they call themselves, you know, jump shots and stuff like that. So they've been doing it since back then. So they've been doing it since back then, and they're doing it now, because they're not gonna let up. Because the Most High said that He's the one that does the continual stroke, you know, continual beat down, man, working the people to death. A lot of people just want to leave. See, a lot of people, they leave America right about now because that's basically Satan's seat. So that's the worst of them all, where the Edomites are going through things and stuff like that. But it's going to be the heathen nations that's going to set America on fire, man, along with the rest of the Edomite nations, man. The Edomite countries, I should say. You know? So, Isaiah 14 and I saw that for that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how had the oppressed ceased, the golden city ceased. America is that golden city. And everybody and their mama want to go to America, but not anymore, man. Slowly but surely, you have a lot of people that be thinking like, nah, you know what? Staying in Europe is actually the best place to be. Better quality of life, better food, compared to that garbage that you have over there in the States, you know? And people are slowly waking up. even the rest of the Edomites in America, the elites, they're fleeing to South America or China or basically countries in Europe. There's innumerable profiles on YouTube that these people explain to you how the difference between living in America and living in Sweden or Denmark or Amsterdam, Netherlands, or Germany, or all these countries. Ain't nobody really going to Bulgaria, Czechia, Poland. Ain't nobody going over there. Ain't nobody leaving America in big bulks compared to the ones that leave America that go to Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark. You won't really see people be boasting about the differences between living in America and living in Poland. The Polish people trying to get to West Europe. So the other Edomites, the best that they can provide for themselves, like better life and stuff like that, is West Europe. You got them going to England and stuff like that. But still, let me go on, because they're losing that battle. That glory is not there anymore. Verse 5. The Most High had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Their kingship is being broken apart. Their wickedness is being broken apart because all their magic is breaking up. A lot of people fighting against Disney right now because they're coming up with that ultimate witchcraft that the modern society is not actually accepting. Actually, sorry, I should say the older generation is not accepting it and they're fighting back. But this is the Most High's program, and they're not going to prevail with that one. Esau's going to be allowed to do his thing according to Job 20 and according to Job 18. So he's going to be allowed to do his thing for a small season, because the Most High said when he is about to fill his belly, then the Most High is going to rain fire upon him. And he is about to fill his belly, and that belly represents that he's full, but it represents that he's going to set up his new world order. But he already has the other nations kind of bucking up against it, talking about, hey man, you setting up them tariffs, you think we weak just like you? Art thou become as weak as us? Because America is not the prime time in economics anymore. It's BRICS. It says that BRICS has like 36%, something like that. And then America has like a little bit less than that. So the income, the money system, even the Netherlands, I saw a show, I think a few days ago. I didn't see it, I clicked on it. I didn't watch it yet, but the title was, do we really need the American dollar anymore? Because a lot of businessmen up on the planet Earth, the big dudes, they be making, billions here, billions there, billions with a B. Billions here, billions there, going into the trillions and stuff like that. They ain't trying to put their money anymore in the American dollar. They're trying to put their money in the euro. They're trying to put their money in the money of China. So they're fighting amongst each other, trying to get that so-called better life. It's all about the money. Right? Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hinder it. Ain't nobody gonna stop nobody trying to mess with America right now, man. He's the one that has that continuous stroke and is ruling the nations in anger. Have you seen Vietnam? Have you seen, by the way, Vietnam economic is growing. But anyway, have you seen the average people in Vietnam, Indonesia? That's a result of his anger toward them. Now there's an article about Vietnam. I'm gonna put that in the description box, which is it wasn't just Agent Orange. Now the article is July 24, Agent Orange. They're going in the backstory and stuff like that, but this is it. Because it says right here, it wasn't just Agent Orange. It was Agent Green, Agent Pink, Agent Purple, Agent Blue, Agent White, and Agent Orange. So Esau, he trying to minimize his criminal activities by just pushing out one. Because if you Google Agent Orange and you type in, you click on pictures, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna see a lot of crazy shit to be like, damn. And he did that? That's worse than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. Just Google it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself, or the comment section. So you could look at the pictures, the pretty pictures, for yourself, and you're gonna figure out like, damn, did he do that? Yeah, he did that. And that was in the time of the Vietnam War, which he lost. Right? Esau lost that one. But public perception is that they won. They didn't win shit. Now it's Isaiah 14:7. The earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. That's gonna happen when Esau gonna get destroyed, man. Everybody gonna be happy. That oppressing city is gonna cease. You know, no more taking over of an how you call that thing? Of their mineral resources and stuff like that. No more taking over of what Esau been doing for the past, you know, centuries, going down to 1492, when he took the land of the Jacob descendants called the Native Americans. You know, he did the same thing to Australia, did the same thing to South Africa, but those countries are not kind of binding together and trying to actually come up with a new money system. That's one of the reasons why they had to take Gaddafi out, because he came with that gold, and wanted to actually take the oil funds and put it into the land. I have another documentary which is called The Economic Hitman. And if you watch that, I'll put that link in the description box. Wait, let me write it down. Economic Hitman. What they're doing is they go into these lands and then they threaten them. If you look, there's a suitcase. It's going to explain, but they're coming up with a suitcase and in the other hand a gun. One hand suitcase, one hand a gun. Then they tell them like, okay, you're gonna take this or you're gonna take that one. If you don't take the money, for example, that's what they say. If you don't take the money, then we're gonna kill you. And if you do take the money, you're gonna only keep it for yourself, because I think it was Venezuela or Colombia or Cuba. They wanted to take the oil money that they have over there in South America and start feeding the people and giving the people a portion of that oil money. The government was not like that. He was not liking that. So they declared war on them and they made them die in a plane crash. Same thing they did with Gaddafi. So going on. Isaiah 14:8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Trees don't talk. That's talking about people. Another example of that is, you should know a tree by its fruits. An evil tree cannot bring forth good fruit, and a good fruit cannot bring forth evil tree. You know? But there is something as an evil student learning from a good tree. But after a while, that good tree is going to kick him out. You know? Because he was evil to begin with, and then he came underneath it. Vice versa too. You know, an evil tree bringing forth a good fruit, he didn't bring it forth. It was a good fruit. For example, you have people that started with IUIC, right? And then after that, they started hearing about the elder apostles at Great Millstone. And then they started following the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's a good fruit that had an evil tree as a teacher. Stayed there for a while, maybe a month, maybe a year, a few years, because they didn't know better. And then after a while, they start figuring it out, like, wait a minute, this guy's full of feces. Then they get the hell up out of there. So that's possible. But it says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fella has come up against thee, us. So, Once Esau is laid down, all the heathen nations are going to be happy, man. They're going to sing. Because those are them trees of the world. Verse 9, Isaiah 14 and 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Death is going to start walking toward Esau now. You know? Death has not been walking toward Esau in a long time, a few centuries. Therefore, for example, they had that thing with Charlie Hebdo in France. They was making mockery of the Islam, their prophet. And then they got their ass smoked, man. The reason why he did it is because he thought nothing would happen to him. And then it happened. So, death is actually crawling to meet them. Walking toward them, actually. Walking toward to meet them. And they did not expect it. So now, it is banned, even in the Netherlands, for Edomites to make public depictions of what they call their prophet, the Muhammad prophet of them, right? Those are them Islam people, right? So Esau is banning Esau is banning other Edomites from doing that because they know, like, hey man, you're gonna start a war up in this motherfucker, and they don't want that. Especially how Ishmael is a wild man, and every hand shall be upon him, and his hand shall be upon every man, and he shall dwell in the midst of his brethren. And his brethren are the other children of Abraham. Genesis 25. Ishmael is with Midian, and all the other brothers and stuff like that, you know? But anyway, now it says, the hell is, let me read it again. Hell from beneath is moved from thee. For thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee. All the ones that are dead right now are the ones dead from the neck up. The ones that don't know about the philosophers, about Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, how the world works. Because if you don't know your nation, you're dead. The man that wandereth out of the congregation of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So the heathen nations are dead because they don't know who they are. But the Most High is going to wake them up. Right. Even all the chief ones of the earth, it had raised up from their thrones the kings of the nations. The kings of the nations is rising up right now, man. You know, taking a stick to stand stable. And what is that stick? Brick. You know, you got Brazil. I forgot the other ones, but the C is China. And they're making major moves, especially down there in Africa right now, building train roads, you know, because that's how England actually made themselves profitable in India. They made train rails there, train roads, train rails, and then they made train rails there, and then they started to export mineral resources out of that land, and then in theirs, and then started selling and dealing with the other heathen nations, and they made a lot of money off of that, trillions. And that's what Moab is planning now in the land of Ham. But that's not going to go too far. But the fact that they're trying shows you that they're resisting the king. The modern day king of Babylon is Esau. They're resisting. Just like you had in the book of Genesis 14. Let me get that. Genesis 14 and 1. What's up? Genesis 14 and 1. Hey, what's up? 14 and 1. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, which is king of Mesopotamia, right? Ariel, king of Elasar, Shedur Laomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations. That these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Beersha, king of Gomorrah, Jibna, king of Adman, and Shem-Eber, king of Zeboi, and the king of Bela, which is Zor. My point, wait, let me read on. Verse 3. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the valley of Sodom, which is in the Salt Sea, which is nowadays called the Dead Sea. So, what just happened, what I just read, is all these kings came together in order to fight the top leading kings that was at that time the rulers. Because they wanted to take them out. Why? Because they was like, nah man, we ain't gonna let you rule over us anymore. We got more men, we got more armies, we gonna come and fight you. And that's exactly what's happening with Esau nowadays. He's that king that nobody wants on the throne. You know? So let me go back to Isaiah 14, which says, Isaiah 14 and 10. All days shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Because the heathen nations are looking at Esau right now, in America especially, that great whore, looking at him like, man, you weak as us. All that third world country bullshit, that's not working out too good for you no more. Because in America, y'all can't even afford 2 children. They can't afford 2 kids, man. Because I heard that in America, if you get a child, that's like already $4,000 or $5,000 in the hospital. Something to that effect. So they're like, nah, man, that ain't working out too good for you. But it's Esau that's actually suppressing the rest of the Edomites. And Amalek is the spearhead to it. Because they want to push forward that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. Because they want to control people, man. It's not even about money no more. Like, for example, rich people, right? They have everything, so it's boring to them. They ain't got nothing to do. So what do? They just spend their money on nonsense, man. I got a scripture for that. First Timothy 6. And 9. But they that be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. So they're gone. That's why it's hard for a rich man to make it in the kingdom, because he's surrounded by temptations more abnormal than a man that is just don't have that much money. Basically, actually, that's in the middle, because King Solomon said, give me neither riches nor poverty, because if I have too much money, I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't need the Lord. I could buy love. You know, I could buy worshipers. Look at the celebrities. Don't they buy worshipers? They don't even have to buy them. All they do is make some music or be a great actor, and people talking about how beautiful they are or how hot they are. You know, these females lusting after dudes. You know, women don't need status for men to be lusting after them. All they need to be is just there. Their existence is enough. But a man, as soon as you start making that big time money, females gonna be looking at you like, damn, I want to have what you got. I want to live that. I want to sit on your couch. But through the power of Esau, what can they do? They can actually take your couch, man. They can take your couch. You know? That you worked hard for. This guy Shannon, this He was a football player, rugby, motherfucker, rugby. He was a rugby player in America. Handball or shoulder ball, whatever they call it. You know, handball. Anyway, he was dealing with this OnlyFans female, and now the female is suing him for 50 million. Trying to get your shit. You know, so that's beautiful. A female that sells herself on OnlyFans. You think she has any moral compass, man? She don't give a fuck about her family, her future kids. You know, she don't care. She damn sure don't care about your money. Actually, matter of fact, she do care about your money. She care about your money in her pocket. You know, even though they make millions on OnlyFans, they still want your millions, man. The future mothers of the Edomite race is a bunch of whores, man. Prostitutes, but they're so ashamed of that word, they call themselves content creators. And sex workers. That's just a fancy way of saying you're a whore. You hate it. Just like black is a fancy way of saying nigger. Yeah, the word black means nigger. It's just a fancy word of saying it. A decent word, you could say. So-called decent. Anyway, 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So, it's done for America, man. And it's done for Europe too, because what they're going to do is they're going to have that trade war. And then therefore, they're not going to end out that good, man. Because everybody that's fighting for money, what do you think is going to happen in the end? War. Because if you fight, if you mess around, like everybody should know this. You don't fight physically with rich people. You fight with them in their pockets. Like companies that screw over people, that their customers. How do you fight them? Stop buying. Stop buying their products. Or start giving bad reviews because of their shops. You're gonna see their value plummet. That's how they're gonna start panicking. But as soon as if you keep on continually promoting their products and stuff like that, they're not gonna feel anything. You know, you bring them to court, they bring you to court and outlast you. Before they even come to court, they're gonna make sure that you lost all your money paying them lawyers, because they're gonna prolong the case and all that and gonna prolong the case and all that type of stuff. And before you know it, you're gonna be bankrupt, and the case didn't even make it to court because they keep on prolonging it. And you want to know how that works? I'm gonna put the link in the description box. It's a movie called Dark Waters. A movie called Dark Waters. I'm gonna put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. There you're gonna see how they prolong cases. You know? But this lawyer, he was really determined to get them. So he kept on working for the case, because his moral compass started kicking in. And this is based on a true story. I think it was in 2010 or something like that. I don't know. Or 11. Maybe, I don't know. Just watch the movie. I'll put the link. Right, so going on. Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So Esau been weakening the nations, man. He been weakening the nations. But now the nations is waking up, talking about, hey man, you as weak as us now? Right? Because all of them are going to get together and set that whore on fire. And I'm not talking about the mother of the Edomite nation. Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are the 10 kings, which receive no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Now that hour is multiplied in a few years, a few decades. I think it's 4 decades. 1 decade is 10 years. So it's 40 years, something like that. 41, 40. Because 1 day is as 1,000 years. Right. Verse 13. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, as they do. If I knew this was going to be the case and I had to scream, I fucking hate screaming. I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. If I knew this was going to happen, I would have picked out another spot. But it's alright, man. I'm here anyway. When I came here, I already saw like, oh shit, it's going to be packed. Anyway, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called. And they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. That's going to be the 144,000. Many are called but few are chosen. And they're going to be faithful until death do them part. They're going to try and work and do the work. It don't matter about the controversy surrounding them. They ain't focused on that shit. They got better things to do. I'd rather go play PlayStation or something like that. They're focused on a bunch of anyway, verse 15. The men of the Lord and the chosen elect, and the men of the Lord which goes into the 1/3. Man, I pray I'll be at least one of them. You know? So it's not about worrying. I ain't even worried about status or rank. I'm worried about making it. The status and rank, that's gonna be, that's add-ons. Making it is the prime subject, the prime target. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, America, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. And then you have another place where it says that the Most High is going to make David, his fingers be dipped in the sea. Let me get there real quick. Now this is Psalms. Psalms 89 and 20. I have found David my servant, with my holy oil have I anointed him. So I'm gonna jump to 27. No, 25. And I will set his hand also in the sea. So David's hand is going to be dipped in the sea. That means that he's going to be ruling over the people. He already did it back then in the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel 2. He had control over the people. He put garrisons in Edom. Syria had to pay him tribute. He lined up Moabites, the sons of Sheth. And He basically evaporated them, put them to death, lined them up, slaughtered them. So Psalms 89 and 25. I will set his hand also in the sea, and his right hand in the rivers. That's going to be in the scriptures. Prosperity, being nurtured. A tree growing near water is a prosperous tree. It's going to have fruit in due time, due season. Or if it's a plant, it's going to have vegetable in due season. You know? Most of the time, trees are fruits and vegetables are things on the ground. Trees are in the air. Not all the time, but a lot of times. Like for example, a watermelon, it's on the ground. But most fruits, it's in a tree. Right, so going back to Revelation. So Revelation 17:15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are people, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. That's where King David is going to have his hand dipped in, showing you that he's going to slap him around. He's going to have his hand dipped in that power, in the people, meaning he's going to have power over it. 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Because the heathen nations are actively busy trying to expose Esau. For example, Esau is being made naked by China by exposing the whole luxury thing with the Gucci, Prada, and whatever type of brands that they have concerning the luxury brands and stuff like that. They're being made naked right about now. Why? Because Esau is being exposed. You know? But if you think about it, double F China even more, because they've been playing along with this little shitty game for decades. And only when they got fucked over with the tariffs, that's when they start to speak. Same thing with Russia. Because he had a little scuffle with America, then he decided to open up the vault and to show you the dark skin art of the Bible. Fuck him too. Iran did the same thing. Wait, let me try and I'll put that link in the description box. Because America was talking about that Iran is breaking human rights, something like that. Humane rights and stuff like that, right? Iran is breaking them, killing their own people. Don't allow them to protest against the government by shooting them, stuff like that. And then Iran president Ahmadinejad, he turned around and he said, wait a minute, aren't you the nation that enslaved people and have made them work for free? And until this day you're murdering them by cops, basically, and nothing is happening to you? Or you stole, rape, robbed, murdered from the Native Americans and did the genocide over there and nothing is happening, but you want to speak about me being cruel against my people? You know, because the president of Iran knows that Esau has infiltrated his country, and then they set up these so-called protests. And in these protests, it's all actually geared up to take over the country by showing a portion of the video that the people are fighting against the government. That's like from the millions of people, you have like 50, 500 people, 300, and then they film that, and then people all over the world be like, wow, see, they're oppressing the people. With footage, you can do whatever you want. You can make it seem like the majority of the people is against something, which is not, when it is not. You know? That's like saying that because Esau, for example, he loves to say that Jake is the minority over there in America. You're the fucking minority. You're the only nation with yellow hair, brown hair, orange hair within the same race and different shades of color of eyes. Every nation on the planet Earth has black hair and dark brown eyes. So who's the minority? I'm gonna give you another example, which I was talking to this guy yesterday, actually 2 days ago, and I was explaining certain things to him, but I'm gonna give you a fact, right? Because he thought that America was a big bulk of the people compared to the rest of the earth. America is only 4.22% of the population of the world. And then now, what is Europe? Europe is 9.4% of the world's population. And in Europe, you have like 45 countries, right? But not all of them is part of the EU. But you got 45 countries in Europe, if I'm correct, 45. I think it's 50 in total. Let me double check that. 45 is like what they count, but certain places of Russia also belongs to Europe. Yeah. $51 countries in Europe, but they not commercially I should say, but they kind of commercially push 44. It says here, there are 50 countries in Europe, but only 44 of them have their capital city on the European continent. What's up? The largest country in Europe is Russia. Shows you that they're a part of them. That's why back in the days, they was fighting for the Berlin Wall to come down, because Russia had a lockdown on these motherfuckers. That shows you that the ancient Greek Empire and the ancient Roman Empire are still fighting until this day. But you think nothing happened to the ancient Greek Empire? If you look at if you look at the alphabet of the Russians, you will see that alphabet coincides with the Greek. And if you look at the rest of Europe, you know, the other Edomites, their alphabet coincides with the Romans that spoke Latin. It's the same people all over again. The Romans versus the Greeks, sorry. Romans versus the Greeks. West Europe is Roman, America, Rome, and East Europe, those are the Greeks going on. And they're gonna fight each other. Satan's house is divided against each other, and they're not gonna stand. So, Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Now, one of the ways that one of the ways that Esau is being exposed right now, being made naked, like in the book of Isaiah 47 and 1 on down, is because, you know, the exposés that's going around, but the heathen nations are exposing them too, like China with the luxury thing. Oh yeah, I gotta put that in the description box. But like I said, that's a shitty move. Oh yeah, Russia also. And why did they do that move? They did the move in order to sway the public toward them. Iran did it. It made Esau a bear. Russia did it, which is Satan divided against himself. China did it, which is the heathen nations trying to expose the practices of America and Europe, but they only did it because they was being screwed over with the tariffs. So there's like, fuck it, I'm gonna tell you secrets. But that shows you that they need to be put to death too, because now you expose it when you ain't benefiting no more, right? So that's wicked in itself. Anyway, Revelation 17 and 17. For the Most High had put in their heart the minds to fulfill His will. So all what they're doing, they're fighting against Esau. That's the will of the that's the will of the Most High. You got all these other Edomites fighting against one another. America, Canada versus America, Europe against America, Russia against America. You know. You have China now snitching, telling. They telling on them, right? So that's the beginning of their fall. And this is browsing up. This is not the end yet, but the end is not near. Matthew 24. Because nations shall rise against nations. You're already hearing rumors of war and wars. You have wars and rumors of wars. That's already happening right now, right? So they're already gearing up towards each other. And first come the money. First they're going to be throwing jabs at each other concerning the money. And then it's going to start to get physical. You know? Because if you mess with a person's money, that's about the time that they're going to take extra measures and really trying to hurt you to provide, to keep on providing for themselves. Right? So, Revelation 17:17, for the Most High has put in their heart to fulfill His will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High be fulfilled. So, they're going to give power to the beast, NATO, and their military stuff like that. And their religious is the Vatican. And England is their money system. That's how they fund stuff, you know. Amalek does the same thing. He's funding America. He's funding America. There was some. No. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
About the Bible.
About the Bible?
Yeah.
I also have my community, and also I'm Christian.
Yeah, you're a Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
You know about the Bible?
I know about the Bible.
Okay, do you know how the Lord looks?
Nobody knows how
yes,
the Lord.
it's in the Bible.
Yes?
Yes, it says he has hair like a sheep.
Like a sheep, yeah, but that thing about his face or about his posture?
About his hair like a sheep and skin like burned brass.
He looks like Adam because he made Adam
in the same color as the earth, right? Okay, so what color is the earth?
Brown.
Okay, so what is Adam?
Brown.
Adam.
That's it. That's it.
Ah,
there you go.
all right. I respect your theory. Yes.
Right. Do you want to hear another real theory?
Yes.
Flying reindeers.
Flying reindeers.
Does that exist?
Like the Christmas man and everything?
Okay, so why is it being celebrated when everybody says it has to do with the Bible? Like they say that's a biblical feast. Meanwhile, everybody knows that that's a lie.
It's a made-up story.
Okay, that's a theory. What I just said is the truth because it says it right there. You want me to read it for you?
Oh, yeah. You have the Bible with you?
Of course I have the Bible with
Oh,
me.
with you. Nice, man.
Oh, I got the Bible here too. Now it
Also
says
online yet?
Yeah.
I only have it in like a gold book.
Oh, okay. Is it worth?
Because I did my community once when I was 12 or 13.
All right.
And now I got a gold book.
It says here, Revelation 1 and 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool. That's the texture.
As white as snow.
That's the color.
His eyes were as flame of fire.
The eyes were as flame as fire because he drank wine and the whites of his eyes was red. Just like your eyes right now. He drank wine, right?
Yeah.
So the whites of your eyes is going to turn red if you drink too much wine. Because
Because he's drunk then.
Why do they say that a good Christian doesn't drink alcohol, but God drinks wine?
he drinks wine. Because the Christians are lying to themselves. You are allowed to drink.
Always say a good Christian doesn't drink alcohol.
He's not a good Christian.
But Jesus drinks wine.
Yes, you are allowed to drink wine.
Yeah.
Because
They
it's
also allowed
blood.
to drink beer, or not that?
Of course, it's alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So you're allowed
It's
to
the
drink
same
it.
thing.
Yes, but you do understand that a lot of people, when they drink too much, they end up fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Or they end up
some
making
people end
troubles.
up making new friends.
Yeah, that's true. But if you drink too much, you're gonna end up fighting. Have you got girlfriends, right? Okay, if you drink too much, what's gonna happen with you and your girl? You're gonna fight. You're gonna say something. Always keep on drinking. You're gonna see what's happening. That's true. That's true. But if you keep on drinking, eventually you're gonna say something to her that's gonna be offensive. But you're drunk. You have no emotions. And then you're gonna say something cruel, and you're gonna be like, don't worry about it, man. You can't
And the
hold.
next morning,
And then next morning she's gonna be like, oh, remember what you said? You know? Okay, so
Yeah.
too much alcohol is dangerous. It could be. But you gotta watch your surroundings too. Because just like weed, you smoke weed, right?
You drink to have fun
Yes, it's
and
true.
not to make fights.
That's true. Some people do that. A lot of people don't do it.
but weed, is it also acceptable? Like
No, you can't smoke because you're destroying your body. Yeah. Can you run in a building, a smoking building, and then inhale? You're gonna die, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing. Are you a fire-breathing dragon?
You can't.
Only a dragon spits fire like that.
So you can't smoke.
You
can't
can't destroy
smoke.
your own body.
Not even like a cigarette.
No,
Like the
that's
same
even
thing, you
worse
can't do
than,
it
than
yourself.
weed.
Yeah.
There's over
I'm only smoking weed and hash and
there's over 7,000 chemicals in cigarettes. That's why people are dying. Have you ever seen the vaping?
No. Those are about vaping, bro.
Yeah.
The vaping is.
But what do they have? They have like a puffed up lung now.
Yeah, man.
That's what you get from vaping, man.
Yeah, the vaping.
So
the vaping is the worst of them all.
see, but it's being pushed by the government, which they're lying to the people,
Yeah.
right? But that's
Make
what
it worse. Right.
to make them worse, to make them sick, in order for them to go to the hospital, in order for them to pay money, cough up the money. They make you sick in order for you to go there. Have you ever read the ingredients of food?
But on the Netherlands, right? You pay monthly taxes for the hospital.
Yeah,
So if you go to the hospital, you don't pay more.
that's true.
So
Then you go to-
why would they want to go you to the hospital when you are already paying monthly taxes?
But that's a facade. Because if I make it as if, look, if I'm a criminal, right, and I want you to actually pay me, like for example, a store,
Yeah.
and I want to pay you protection like the mafia used to do, and you don't want to pay the protection, then I will hire a couple of my guys or send them to come and rob you. So now you're afraid. So now you're gonna pay me money, and then I'll
Yeah.
protect you. That's the same thing with medical system. They make you sick in order for you to come to them and be like, pay me. Just pay me monthly. You're not gonna get sick every month. You're gonna get sick eventually.
Yeah.
But they're making you sick.
Only one time. And
That's
then-
true, but still, some people get often sick. If you look at the back of the ingredients list of all the food, it's going to be some dangerous food, like nicotine and stuff like that.
Yes, I know.
Well, every day no question. Okay, listen. We have to work every day to make a living.
Right?
And then you get stressed, you get your lonely mind.
Of course, this is good. Of course, this is good.
And you drink and you smoke, you calm yourself in the weekend, only in the weekend. You calm yourself down, have a nice time. Is
Right.
that bad for you?
No, the
Because it's
smoking
bad for
part,
your body, but it's good for your mind.
that's
You
true,
go out.
but the drinking part is better for you than the smoking.
I don't know about it.
If you check out the long run, look, I'm going to give you an example. If you smoke, you can still drive a car. That's true. If you drink, you can't really drive because you're going to crash. Because you lose all senses in your body, the connection between your mind and your legs. You start walking all over the place. Weed could do that, but if that's when you just smoke 10 joints or something like that, then you're going to fall asleep. Okay, that's another story. I understand that part, but still, alcohol is still better than weed because you're smoking your lungs to death.
Yeah, but I think
It stays in your lungs, right?
That's it. Because your body can actually fix itself. But that's going to happen after you stop smoking. But everything has a measure, man. You can't just,
you can drink too much, you can smoke too much.
no, you can't smoke at all, according to the
Too
Bible.
much is
And the drinking, you can't drink too much. I mean, if you eat pizza every day, are you still going to like it? But it's not about the good. Are you going to like it?
Yeah.
no.
Every day.
Not every day.
Okay, so you got to have a balance.
Yeah.
Same thing with the drinking.
So sometimes
You can't drink
smoking,
It's only on
sometimes
Saturday.
Like I said, biblical wise, smoking is not good. Drinking is. So if anybody says that a good Christian
That's
is
the part I never understood. Because for your body, drinking is also bad. Again, it hurts your liver, it hurts your intestines.
that's true. That's why you shouldn't
So
drink
it's
them.
also bad. But why is smoking then more bad than drinking? Because if you smoke sometimes, like I don't talk about every day, just like in the weekends to calm yourself down. And just the same with drinking. I think if you drink 10 beers, it's
give you
the
an
same as
example.
smoking like a joint.
I'm gonna give you an example. When they do satanic rituals and stuff like that, what do? Do they drink or do they smoke substances?
I don't know.
They smoke. They smoke and they use LSD and stuff like that. Smoke cocaine and all that. There. In order for them to open up portals, in order for the demons to come up in. That's why a lot of people go psychotic and start hearing voices when they smoke. Why do you think that is? Certain people are stronger than others. So, certain people, they can handle it. But certain people, they open up portals in order for them to basically start hearing voices. And that shows you that doesn't happen with liquor. Because the smoking affects your mind and your spirit. Drinking, it affects your body more than your, well, it doesn't affect your brain, but not really your spirit.
It only makes you a little bit dumber.
Yeah, it could be. But the liquor affects your spirit, your mind. Your spirit. Liquor affects your brain. It affects your brain. But you need to be spiritual in order to be with the Bible, right? So if your spirit is being affected by drugs, then you're not really following after the Heavenly Father His ways, because you're gonna do what you want. Lord willing. Lord willing, I'm wise. You know? It's cool. Yeah?
Have a nice day.
You too, man.
Thank you for the talk.
It's cool. Right? Yeah, man. It's cool. Yeah. All right. So, right, let me go on. Now it says here, Revelation chapter 17, verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So let me read it again. Revelation 17 and 17. For the Most High had put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Heavenly Father shall be fulfilled. So, what are they doing right now? They're fighting against each other because that's the will of the Heavenly Father. He wants them trading wars. That's why I like Trump. I've been liking Trump since back in the days, because I know he's a liar, and I know he's gonna start some fights. You know that World War III is gonna come. As long as if you let him in office, man, I'll be praising Yahweh Shem Yahweh. I wanted him to get back up in there, because I knew he was gonna do something stupid. You know, that shows you that. Hey, you know, so I just knew. I was saying this since he got kicked, since he was in office in the first time. Then he got kicked out. I was angry at them. I was like, fuck this shit, man. Put him back in, man. Let him do something stupid. I know he's gonna do something stupid. You know, because our salvation is nearer than we believed. You know, because Esau is messing up the world with the tariffs, which is one of the ways that he got great in the first place, by taxing people. But now it's not happening anymore, because the weaker nation's gonna be like, hey man, get the hell out of here, man. You ain't gonna tax me like that. I got backup now, man. I got like all these heathen nations and stuff like that that's actually gonna come with us and actually do the work with us, man. You know, and that work is talking about gathering up all the other nations and then hogging up the money to themselves, because that is exactly what they're doing right now, man. They're trying to be prosperous with their own and exclude the dollar, which is only in America. You know, back in the days, the Netherlands, the Dutch Gilden, that used to be the world currency back in the days, man. And then you had the pound, and then you had the dollar. The Dutch Gilden used to be the world currency. Yeah, man. Dutch guilder, which the guilder is actually gold. The Gilden was gold, was backed up by gold. Dutch Gilden was world currency before dollar. I'm typing it in. So it says here, it says, how you doing, man? Yeah, man. It says here, Dutch guilder, the guilder or florin was the currency of the, wait, no, I'm not talking about that. Right, so it says here, what was the world currency before the US dollar? The pound sterling. But before that, I have that. It's kind of hard to find often, you know, but I know about it. Reserve. Okay, I got it. So it says right here, underneath the chapter 4 thing, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna put the link in the description box. So it says here, the Dutch guilder became the first global reserve currency. So I think that is what I need to put in. It became the world's first global currency. That was the de facto money system, especially in Europe. Oh shit, I'm too close. Fucking hate cameras. Anyway, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Right, so let me go on. Wait. Right, so let me go on. Now it says here, Revelation chapter, what's that? Take a beer. Yeah, man, I'm gonna do it later. So it says here, Revelation 14, verse 4. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are the ones they're going to be bought back by Yahweh Bashem, by the Lord Yahushua, to the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 5. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Heavenly Father, and to the Lamb. Yo, that's what you would strive for, being the first fruits. And loose from that, you would strive for that salvation, that reward of the righteous man, that reward of the prophet. That's what you would strive for. You know? Seek the beauty of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai before you seek rank and status. Because I know dudes that want to get that status, and the only thing that they actually thinking about is thinking about having a great name in the kingdom. You know, some of them don't even want to do the work, and they want that status though. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to lay away the mannerisms of this world. You got guys out here chasing bitches. Chasing fucking bitches. Always watching videos on how to get girls. I'm looking at that shit like, what the fuck you do that shit for, man? Fucking nothings. You know what I'm saying? Why you trying to get girls and shit like that? Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Dudes that be always chasing women. Fuck out of here with that dumb shit, man. To me, that's fucking nothing, man. Silliness. That's like a base man. Always trying to get bitches. Wasting their fucking time. But they're too stupid to understand. Can't even handle females no more. This is a waste of time. But anyway, you still got dudes like that all over the place, man. All over the place. You're talking to a man, You're talking scriptures, he's talking bitches. And in their mouth there was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Heavenly Father. All their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. That's what's going to happen to those type of men. So, you wait for that time. Revelation 16:2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. Esau is going to cause it to where the whole money system is going to collapse, and then everybody's going to want to have that. They're going to need that chip. A lot of them are going to want it. And we out here to tell the Jacob descendants, whatever you do, don't take that chip. Because as soon as you take that chip, you can bend over backwards and kiss your own ass, because it's not going to work out for you that good. You know? You're not going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it. Revelation 16:15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. You need to keep yourself in the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It's not a hard thing, man. You know? Some people are able to do it fast. Some it take time, man. You know? Just make sure you're not around people that pull you down or, you know, jeopardize anything concerning salvation, man. You got to watch your surroundings. You know, I was just talking to a girl this morning. Both. Bijbel.
Sorry?
Bijbel.
De Bijbel, oké. Er zijn natuurlijk verschillende aftakkingen in de Bijbel. Welke aftakking volgt u?
De True Bijbel. Ik ga je een voorbeeld geven.
Ja.
Vliegende rendieren, geloof je daarin?
Oké, ik heb altijd zo gehad van ik stel me nu nog niet compleet. Ik ben
Nee, maar dat is een tak. Ik vraag je, geloof je in vliegende rendieren?
Niet per se.
Wat bedoel je niet per se? Bestaat het? Bestaan vliegende rendieren?
Ik zou nu zeggen nee.
Maar waarom moet je daarover denken? Dat het niet bestaat. Het bestaat geen vliegende rendieren. Het bestaat niet.
Nee, omdat ik het nog nooit heb gezien, denk ik. Wat denk ik?
Het bestaat niet. Er zijn geen rendieren met vleugels. Het bestaat gewoon niet.
Nee.
Maar dat wordt wel gezegd dat dat de Bijbel is.
Ja.
Dus dat zijn allemaal false prophets and false teachers.
Ja.
If you say that there's flying reindeers and you push it throughout the world, then you're a false doctrine. You're a false teacher. You're a false prophet. You have a false doctrine. So, I'm not of that branch. Ik ben niet van die tak alvast. De leugens.
Ja.
Geloof je in konijnen die eieren leggen? Konijnen?
Nee.
Oké, maar dat zeggen ze wel dat dat een Bijbels feest is.
Ja.
Dus dat is weer een false prophet, false teachings, false doctrine. Het zijn leugens.
Ja.
Dus de wereld is vol leugens. Je vraagt welke tak ik ben? De waarheid. Alles dat gewoon hierin staat.
Ja.
Dat is wat ik volg en niet wat er gezegd wordt dat je moet volgen.
Ja, en maatschappij zei, als ik ooit begin met de Bijbel, dan moet ik met het hoofdstuk Matthäus beginnen. Ben je het daarmee eens?
Nee, je begint bij het begin, want als je naar de winkel gaat, ga je een boek kopen met 100 bladzijden. Dus dan zeg je, gooi die eerste 60 weg en pak alleen de laatste 40. Je moet bij het begin beginnen en het heel boek is het waarheid. Zoals ik je zeg, jij gaat niet naar de winkel en dan ga je een boek van 100 bladzijden kopen en je zegt tegen die man, scheur 60 weg, want ik wil
Nee,
zien.
snap je?
Hoe ga je het verhaal begrijpen?
Ja.
Juist.
Dat dacht ik toen ook, ja. Oké, dat is goed. Alright. Nou, dan weet ik in ieder geval wat ik een beetje aan het doen van. Ik wil in ieder geval zeggen, fijne dag nog.
Dat is goed, hè?
En dames, tot vandaag.
That's good. Yeah.
Fijne dag.
Listen, yes, right. Right. So it says here, Revelation chapter what is it? 16, verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and lest they see his shame. Because you're gonna be exposed, just like how Esau is being exposed right now. You know, he's being made naked. all his things are being brought to light, bit by bit, you know. And you need to keep your garments, man. You need to stay into Yahweh in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You shouldn't go to the left nor go to the right. You should have a determined spirit in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And if you don't have it, pray for it. You know, the Most High said that if any man lack in wisdom, let him pray for it, and I will give you. You know, so the Lord's gonna help you, man. Don't focus too much on others. You know, concerning salvation, ain't nobody can save you, man. The scripture explains to you in 2 Ezra 7, the place that can be saved is the path to being saved is a very narrow path, and it's very hard to get up in there in the first place. And then when you are on that path, it could be hard to stay up on it, man. But if the Most High is with you, He's going to make sure that the temptation shall come upon the world, but it shall not come to tempt you. That's Revelation 3 and 10. It says right here, Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. The Most High is going to keep you from that, man. You're not going to get got by that. Which shall come upon all the world to try them that that dwell upon the earth. So, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, which is truth, that no man take thy crown. You know? Hold fast what you have, that no man take your crown. Whether it be by provoking unto anger like they did Moses, you know, or whether it be basically believing in another doctrine, right? You got to watch out. Watch your surroundings. Watch your surroundings very good. In this truth, I'm not talking about, you know, in the world or whatever. That's not. Yeah, well, that's actually something too. Just watch yourself in the world too. Anyway, Obadiah chapter 1, verse 6. All the things of Esau searched out, all his hidden things sought up, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai with the eye salve. Once you got that eye salve mentioned in Revelation 3:18, let me get there real quick. Revelation 3:18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire. That gold is the truth. Tried in the fire is being made pure. So this is the pure gold. That thou mayest be rich, and rich in faith. That's James 2 and 5. That thou mayest be clothed, which is clothed with which is clothed with doctrine and faith and truth. Like in the book of 1 Ezra chapter 4, it explains you that the high priest, he was clothed in doctrine and in truth. And in the book of 2 Chronicles 18, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, what's up? What's up? Yeah, what's up? It says that in, let me read it. Let me read it real quick. It's 1 Ezra 4, and I think 50 or something, or 45, around that place, where it speaks about the high priest was clothed in truth and doctrine. Now this is 2 Chronicles 28 and 19. Now it says right, what's up, man? 2 Chronicles 28 and 19. For Yahweh brought Judah low. Why? Because of Ahaz, king of Israel, which is king of Judah, but it's named Israel. Anyway, for he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the Heavenly Father. How did he make him naked? By making him go toward other gods. That's how you take off the armor of the Heavenly Father. Like the armor of the Most High, if you strip it off, you're going to be turned into a naked man. And then you're going to start swallowing all the philosophies upon planet Earth because you're naked now. You don't have the armor of the Most High. You don't have the shield and buckler and the sword of the Most High. So you're naked. You don't have no weapon. You don't have no beautiful wedding garments on, like in the book of Matthew 22. You need to put that garment on. Get ready for the marriage. You know? You gotta put aside all the things that you know are bad about you, about yourself. You know, you're trying. Stuff like that. The anger. You know? Micah chapter 3 verse 1. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones. So, not only are you making them naked by taking their clothing, their holy, the holiest clothing that the priests have and the singers have, not only are you taking that off, but the false teachers and false prophets, they're ripping off the flesh and the sinews, showing off bones, man. They're putting you right back in a state of Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. Micah 2 and Micah 3 and 3. Who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces. As for the pot, and as flesh for the cauldron. A cauldron is a pot that you boil stuff in. But it's ironically because nowadays a cauldron is what they have on Halloween, where they put witchcraft things in it. So that's literally spiritual in a physical form, you know, because it's witchcraft. Right. So that's one of the ways that, so not only are the false prophets making you naked, the false ones of our people, they're actually stripping you from that flesh, from that the covering that you have of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and turning you into a bunch of bones, man, which is totally dead. You know, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So you're dead, right? Being stripped naked. Joel chapter 2 verse 10. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Actually, that's what I want to look at. Let me jump around. Joel 3 and 10. I started 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. That's what the Most High is doing right now. He's putting in the minds of the heathen nations to start gearing up war. And that war is first being started economic wise, you know. That's how they're actually going to fight against one another. It's going to start with the war. It's going to start with the money. The money system is how they're going to get into fights. That's the steps onto war for rich people. Some like not poor, but not poor people only, but people that are average. They already starts war with money system already, and that's low money. Couple of hundreds, couple of thousands. They're already murdering each other. The Edomites, they be dealing in billions and millions. They're gonna want to kill it. Right. So, Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Isaiah 14. or thou also become as weak as us? Where's your pump? It's being brought down to the grave, man. They can't do that no more, you know, because it's going to not turn out that good, because they got them nuclear weapons too, and they got other means to get them stuffs, which is their resources, which is China, all these other places. Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this from old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is but a short moment? Wait, short. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So they're having fun right now, but it's not going to last that long. It won't stop. Verse 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reached unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Esau's excellency is in the heavens, man. Everybody want to be like, live like them. But the elites of them, I mean, not the elites, the higher ups, the ones that are making money and stuff like that, businesses, they know like, hey, shit, everything is falling already. You know, they need to move to other countries because they see the future. They see the economic state that Esau's world is in right now. So the first thing that they're doing is moving toward another place. You know? Where they know that they can actually make bank off the people instead of putting themselves into debt, which is what no businessman wants. Unless you're real stupid. Unless you be Esau and you're putting yourself into debt in order to screw over the people. You know, like the fall of the banks. They cost it. But why? In order to break down the financial structure of the Edomites, the ones that they feed off. Well, yeah, they feed off. You know, because they want to bring in that chip. So they make their own places go bankrupt. They make their own food stores go bankrupt. That's going to cause starvation, which is going to trickle down to deaths, killings, fightings. Esau is the harbinger of death, and then the man of chaos, confusion. So that's his plan. Jumping up to Job 20:15. He had swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. Those riches, Most High is going to make him cough it up. He's balling right now. It's not going to last. Because everybody start waking up to the fact that, hey, wait a minute. Esau be white balling everybody else up on the planet Earth. Because he rules the nations in anger and in fury. Continual strokes. Know what's up, man? Right. Continual strokes. Still got, you know what I'm saying? He still got so-called, let me leave that. Anyway, but you got, the point is, you still got certain places where it's all good. The economic system is good, but that's being attacked right now. Because the middle class is starting to actually feel the pains of what's really going down, what the higher ups are doing. They're feeling it, man. Now, if you're already low, you're not gonna feel it until it starts hitting in the supermarkets. Who do you think owns the supermarkets? The middle class. Now, they have to go spend more money. And then with the tariffs now, people are going to start filling it in their pockets. Not now, not yet. It's slowly getting there. But there will come a point in time where victuals shall be cheap upon the planet Earth, where they think of themselves to be in good times. That's about the time that the Most High is going to say, make that other scripture come out, I should say. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall fall upon them. 1 Thessalonians 5, if I'm correct. Job 20 and 18. That which he laboreth for shall he restore, and shall not swallow down according to his and shall not swallow it down according to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice in them therein. He's not going to rejoice in the structure of the New World Order. Job chapter 14 explains to you that he shall not pass the boundaries that had been set before him. So he's not going to enjoy this New World Order. Not at all. He's gonna taste it, but he's not gonna fill his belly. But he's still gonna have that chip, he's still gonna have that chip running around, you know, being implemented. That's him eating. Everything locked down, that's him filling his belly. That's not gonna happen. But he's gonna eat though. He's gonna taste that what he calls juicy, bloody, watery steak. You know, that what they call juicy steak. I don't eat that shit. It's got to be well done, dry. And if it has a watery taste up in it, like liquid, it needs to be the juice that I make on the side. You know, I don't even really eat steak that much. I should actually. I'm not greedy for it. Anyway, Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he gonna be eating, man. He gonna set up that New World Order. He's gonna eat there, you know. He's not gonna get to his dessert because he's not gonna finish his meal. He's gonna get the big piece of chicken, and then he's gonna want to top it off with that bloody steak. That's about the time, you know, when Esau, he loves that steak, right? He's gonna eat that chicken, yeah, whatever. It's that bloody steak he wants. That's about the time that the Most High is gonna rain upon him. Damn. Look, the sun made it hot. Shouldn't put that in the sun. That's hot. So, Job chapter 20, verse 29. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and his heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. Your heritage appointed unto you, what you will inherit, is pain, destruction, desolation, slavery. All what you have done upon the earth shall be done unto thee. Except the sodomy part, because that's not going to happen. The kiddie porn part, that's not going to happen. Let me see, I hit him up with a few last ones. Job 18, verse 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Because the wicked is doing beautiful right about now upon the earth. Slowly but surely, everybody start figuring out that ain't beautiful. You know? For example, that movie Substance with Demi Moore. I was speaking to this girl I know. She's Jake, of course. And I was explaining to her about that movie. She already saw the movie. But she knows. But my point is, they're showing you that the glamour and glory of this world is fake. It's not real. You're chasing a fake dream and you're making yourself uglier than you already was naturally. All this fakeness is coming to an end. That's the state of how America is in the world. That movie Substance with Demi Moore. That's America. That's Esau. Always chasing the next high. Chasing the next beauty product. So Job 18:6, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The candle is going to be turned out, man. All the wisdom that Esau has is going to be taken out. Verse 7, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, shall be narrowed, man. No more broad power. And his own counsel shall cast him down. All the things that he's talking about, uplifting himself, is doing good for him. Those are the things that's going to make him fall. The Sodom and Gomorrah thing is one of the ways that's going to make him fall. Because the Most High is going to destroy him on that alone. Loose from all the million things that he does on the side. Verse 8, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. Because Esau is destroying himself. He's continually stroking his own folks. Isaiah 14 explains that to you. And he's messing around with the heathen nations. And they're not liking it. They're fighting back. They're going to fight back. And that's the state of the world right now. Man, there's a lot of mist that I see. Barbecues all over the place. So anyway, so with that, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles, a great millstone, for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. And shalom to the sincere Akim across the world, doing his work in sincerity and in truth. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.